Have you ever had your bank suddenly block your card in the middle of a holiday? Or gotten a suspicious late-night message asking if you really made this big purchase online? It's annoying, right? But what's even scarier is when banks don't catch the fraud, because fraudsters today are faster and better equipped than ever before. I know, because I've been in this battle for over 15 years. Back in 2008, when I started working with data, fighting fraud was pretty basic. Imagine Excel spreadsheets, simple queries, and basic rules. We set up flags like an employee suddenly opening dozens of new accounts or authorized suspiciously large transfers. Each flag alone wasn't proof of fraud, but together they told the story. We got plenty of fraud that way, but that was then. Fast forward to today, you would expect banks to have evolved dramatically, right? But you might be surprised that many banks still use the same rule-based logic that we used back in 2008. Only now it's powered by SAS or Python script instead of Excel. But there's the problem. Fraudsters have evolved. And if you were a fraudster, would you walk straight into a trap knowing it's there? Of course not. Fraudsters adapt using new technologies like generative AI, deepfakes, and sophisticated global networks. Imagine a criminal using your child voice cloned by AI urgently asking you to send money.
Can you send me some money? I had an accident. I really need your help.
Sounds extreme, right? But it's happening right now. And traditional rule-based fraud detection methods aren't built to handle that. The core weakness of rule-based system is their rigidity. They rely on predetermined criteria like transaction amount, unusual locations, and it's like setting traps in the forest, expecting animals never to learn to avoid that. Over the time, maintaining these rules becomes a headache, costing banks money and irritating customers with false alerts. Eventually, banks reach a point of diminishing returns. More rules, less accuracy. And this is where AI enters the story, not as a marketing buzzword, but as a genuine game changer. What if banks could learn from fraudsters as quickly as fraudsters adapt? Think about a detective who never sleeps, never forgets to face, and can analyze billions of pieces of evidence in seconds. That's the promise of AI. One powerful AI approach gaining momentum is graph neural networks, or GNNs. Think of transactions not as isolated events but as a part of a massive network connecting accounts, devices, and locations. GNNs see the entire network. They can quickly spot when multiple, seemingly unrelated accounts are suddenly sending money to the same suspicious place. They find fraud networks hiding in plain sight. Major tech companies like AWS and NVIDIA are already pushing this technology forward. AWS, for instance, uses GNNs to scan complex networks of transactions instantly. Banks implementing this have significantly reduced fraud losses, some by $1 million per year, because model can catch fraud in real time, something that traditional methods struggle to achieve. Here's the catch. It's easy to demonstrate a small proof of concept, but running these advanced systems on scale of millions of customers and billions of transactions is an entirely different challenge. It requires serious engineering, robust infrastructure, and specialized skills. So what does an ideal fraud detection system look like? In my view, the perfect system doesn't just look at transactions, it understands the context. Imagine each client or account has an evolving profile. Their risk score naturally rises, not because of their actions, but because of their connections. You are who you associate with approach at scale. Combining graph neural networks with large language models is particularly promising here. LLMs can parse huge amounts of unstructured data like emails, chat logs, images, customer reviews, and interaction, adding yet another layer of detection capability. Banks like JP Morgan Chase already use this to detect fraud signals hidden in everyday communications. Mastercard's generative AI system, for instance, now analyzes trillions of data points, catching fraudulent activities before they even happen. They claim to have doubled their fraud detection rate while significantly reducing false alarms. If you're thinking, that sounds great, why isn't every bank doing this? The answer is complexity. These technologies are powerful, but they require significant investment and expertise to scale. Yet, despite these challenges, the shift towards AI-driven solutions is inevitable. Fraudsters won't slow down, so neither can we. Banks now face clear choice: evolve with smarter adaptive systems or risk of falling behind in a rapidly changing fraud landscape. What do you think? Have you experienced outdated fraud systems, or have you seen banks effectively fighting back using AI? Share your thoughts below. Your opinion is very important. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights from the front lines of fraud detection. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant.